Welcome back to another video on the weekly analysis in Euro USD with Funny Fella FX, aka me, Funny Fella, or aka Finny. So everybody knows me by. Now I haven't done one of these in a few weeks. Um, so I can understand how people struggle a bit without these. And this is kind of what I was going over nearly with every one of the lads on the mentorship was reading the market, which is up there with the hardest thing to do in trading, because you can read it, all right, or at least you think you've it read right, and guess what, you might, and you might not. But when you go to put a trade on, all right, it's very hard to uh, you know put all your eggs in that basket of your weekly analysis, if that makes sense. So it's hard to have confidence in your own weekly analysis. Um it's something that every single trader has to take a long duration of time to actually build up confidence in. So it's something I encourage every trader that wants to make it to do. All right, is do the weekly analysis, um, and stick by it. All right. So the best way to do it, I would suggest, is do the weekly analysis, right, and then say to yourself, if it doesn't do this, all right, then I'm going to do this, all right? Or if it doesn't do this, it should do this, all right? And then if it doesn't do this, I'm doing nothing, all right? So it's, you know, very hard, very, very, very hard to master, okay? It's not that you can't read it, it's the human nature of you trying to have your full confidence in what you've just, broke down. And that only comes with just constantly trying it. All right. So I have made a lot of mistakes on weekly analysis in the past, maybe not so much anymore. Um, but don't be afraid of making the mistakes, You make a mistake on it, guess what? So what? As long as you haven't put stupid money in the line and blew a fortune, then you're not an idiot. You're just learning. If you've turned around and done a weekly analysis and says, that's it, I'm putting 100% in the line here and that's it, then yes, clearly an idiot. And guess what? I've done that. So you're talking to an idiot of the past, let's just say. So having a look at this weekly analysis now, just on the weekly chart on Euro USD, I'm probably going to break it down over a few weeks, all right? And we'll see where we are in the market. Now, looking at this weekly, I can see this void straight away. It's the first thing always comes to my head. Void, you can see that this has tapped into it and this broke through it, all right? So if I was to show you in a picture what's in my head, and you know I don't really, in my personal trading, I don't draw anything out. I can see it. This is what I see in my head, all right? So I see this void and I can see it's been tapped into, which caused, a new high. And then I can see the markets come down until it struggled to get through it. But when it did, it touched it again, got a big rejection out of it, and then touched it again, got a big rejection out of it. So that's the first thing I see, all right? That does not mean now I expect it to just romp down into this big price imbalance, all right? The market never moves in a straight line. It's just I trade lower time frames. So even though I can see what's happening on the weekly and it gives me a basis of where I'm going to aim for, even lower again, I start to really fine tune. But this is, stuff that sticks into my head, right? That would be my first thing I'm looking at. It would take a lot for it to break above this now. If it does, I expect it to, you know, find support out of it and push on. If it doesn't, full expect it to come and fill in this imbalance from this candle's low to this candle's high. Now, another thing that's drawn to me is, let's just delete this void, all right? We have another void that's, the most recent one. And if you pull it across, okay, you can see that this candle here, Monday the 16th of October, with this void created, it opened up and pushed through it and closed, all right? Now, this week, the 23rd of October, it opened up. It went into what we were speaking about earlier, this void, and also into this wick. And it closed in the void. Now, not deep, but it closed in. It spiked in, so got a little bit of rejection. And then the previous week, this week, the 30th of October, it was opened up, jammed down into it to the bottom end of it, and immediately it's got rejected. All right. So this void for me acts like it's going to be very stubborn to get through. Let's just put it that way. Okay, it's going to have its work cut out to get through that. That's what's in my head in the weekly. Now, breaking it down to the daily, I look at it like this. Okay, so you can see with these candles, it's spiked in it and it's getting rejection. But we're going to start fine tuning it. And if I take from this candle's low to this candle's high, all right, let's just do that. This imbalance is where the market spiked into once, twice, got support out of. Yes, came down, filled up the gap, back out of it, spiked into it, tried to push into it even further, could not break this low, so could not come into this imbalance, even further, and then caused this lovely big bullish candle on Monday, the 23rd of October. All right, so it's caused a change of character here, right across the market. So this is what I'm looking at in my head. All right, change of character. Swing low, broke through, change of character. Could not make a lower low, made a higher high, so break of structure from here. It's come back down in, spiked into this imbalance again. All right, got rejected, spiked in it again, closed outside of it, spiked in it again on Monday, and it's now starting to push off and it's took out Friday high. All right. So everything for me, just on that basis, is pointing bullish right now. So my eyeball is at the top. Let me make this a little bit tidier. The high is 06938. 06938. Okay. So because it's finding support off this, weekly void and down into the daily imbalance, my higher probability trades at the minute is buy. All right, because I like to simplify things. I know there's a lot going on from the weekly to the daily. All right, but simplifying things, this imbalance caused this push high and change of character. Could not break the low. Sorry, this low. This low could not break this low. Then caused a break of structure. All right. And it's now pushed down in again and is struggling to get even halfway into this imbalance now. So simply put, like just simplifying, not trying to overdo everything. We have now got some sort of support, some sort of story to tell me that the market's going to continue bullish this week. All right, now where is it going to? Personally, I know there's this imbalance up here, so let me draw it out just so you can see it as well. And you can see that we've stabbed into it before, all right, in the previous week, Tuesday. Personally, I feel like because this imbalance has been closed once, and this is stabbed in it again, for this high to be taken out, it's probably going to have to push beyond this imbalance now. All right, and if it does that, so I expect it to come up like this, it should, sorry about that, it should find support of that. That's what I'd be looking at. Just as it's fine support down here, and to fill in this imbalance. That would be where my eye would be drawn to. Why? Because you can see this swing high caused all this movement. All right, so that's why I would expect it, or what I would expect it to do. But again, I trade low time frames, 1 minute. This is just my overall where I expect the market to go. Right, that's why I expect it to go, because it's struggling to get down here on the daily to break through this imbalance now, and it's, you can see how the market structure is now starting to appear. All right, so let's just take this away just so you can see what I mean. That's what it looks like, doesn't it? Change character, and now you've had this market structure starting to make higher highs. So I'd like to see this now make higher high. All right, this push up like that to take out the previous week's high. And for me, this is Monday. You know, I like to think of Monday as manipulation. So this little opening up in the market and coming down is a nice way to suck in sellers, right? Now let's look at it in the 4 hour. And if I just take this imbalance here, this candle's low, this candle's high, and I tidy it up. Why this one? Because look at the amount of times it's been respected. So we had this push up, jam down in, all right, given it did close a little bit past it, but immediately, nice big bullish candle, pushed through it, stabbed into this imbalance twice again, so hence getting a little bit of support out of it, comes back down, struggles, comes down and spikes one more time, pushes off, spike, 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 makes a big push off new high, spike down into it again, fails to break through it this time, it being starting to push off in a bullish momentum. Sorry, my phone lit up there, I got distracted. And that's why I expected now to continue on bullish. Now, does this mean put all your eggs in one basket? No, because it's at a turning point in the market, but everything for me just points bullish. All right, you know, can be wrong. I can flip around me, go the other way. I don't really care. All right, if it does that, it does that. But at the minute, everything took out the Asia low, pushed off. Everything for me now is I'm going to look for buys to be the high probability trade, because the higher time frames, especially on the daily, is looking that way. Now you got to understand too that this from July, correct, has been moving downwards, so it's a long time bearish. You know, we're into October now, end of October. So you do expect roughly, you know, around the end of the year, coming November, December, to see a turn in the market. The only thing I see in the weekly is this imbalance up here. Could it go that deep, or could it respect this wick? Let's see. All right, let's see. We're looking short term trades. We're not gonna excuse me about the cursor. We're not gonna look for a buy here to aim up here. Like, we're 1 minute time or traders. That's all I need is a 1 minute entry. All right, and there's one there this morning. All right. So bullish, guys. That's my weekly analysis. That's what I believe. Just simplified. If it starts pushing beyond through this imbalance now on the daily, you know, it's going to come down just to take out this big imbalance. But maybe it's going to save that for next year. At the minute, it's not looking likely anymore, is it? It's looking like it wants to come up and take out a little buy side liquidity. It sits above these highs, fill up a little bit of imbalances. Maybe use the void, as a way to propel itself a little bit further, at least temporary. So that's my weekly breakdown. This is the 30th of October, by the way. I do encourage everybody to do their own weekly analysis before and if I even release one, because it's the only way to grow, you know, confidence in yourself. And that's why you're here. Like, you're here to grow confidence in yourself, not in me. And do your weekly analysis and be prepared to win or lose from that analysis. But don't over. If I'm going to give you one tip, don't overcomplicate it. The simplest thing to remember in this whole section here is this imbalance, right? This candle's high, this candle's low. Whenever we get that push through and the spike ended and then made and given it's a very small change of character, right? But it was this imbalance that caused that change of character. And then the pullback again into this imbalance, it couldn't push through it. So it caused a break of structure, let's say. Or if you're not satisfied with that change of character, at least here you're definitely satisfied. And with these spiking into it now, the simple thing is it should have pushed on through that by now at least. Okay. And that's what I would like to see if I was going to be a seller. Simple things not telling us that. It's telling us that it's getting a bit of support. We've been moving down from the whole of July to the end of October, really. Or start of October, we started to see a little turn. All right. So if somebody's going to put my life on, I'm going to start going buys again. All right. Simple as that, guys. So I hope you have done the weekly analysis, and I hope that lines up with it. If you are seeing that same sort of thing or close, or you came to the conclusion that buys is the more high probability trade, congratulations, you're in the same wavelength as me. Now, am I in a rush to get into trades this week? Having a look at the news, no, I am not. This week, Euro CPI, non-farm, PMI, interest rates, jobless claims, BOE interest rates, unemployment rate, non-farm payrolls, PMI again. A lot of heavy hitting news this week. A lot. Now, that could be the news that it wants to ram that on up. All right. But it's October, but it's Halloween. I'm half burnt out this year, and it's getting to that time of year where I don't really have mad interest in getting onto the markets. Right? Doesn't mean I'm not going to, but you can pick better weeks, But yeah, high probability trades, guys, is buy. So give us a thumbs up. Comment do you wish you got it on the same kind of analysis. Put it in the comments. It should be a good feeling. If you haven't got it, don't worry. All right. Guess what? You may be right. I may be wrong. But going by that analysis, I am not wrong. That is saying to me bullish all day long. Now, if this weekly void, because this would be the only thing that would put me off, would be this big void here, and you can see it's specked in there. But if this void wasn't here to support, because obviously the higher the time frame, the stronger the trend, if that makes sense. If this void wasn't here, it might make me question, but look at it, pushed through, spiked in, couldn't close that far in it, immediately filled it up and pushed through again. So it's going to act as a hell of a support there now to possibly drive this on up where it wants to go. All right. So I hope that clears stuff up for you this week, everyone. And again, these are not going to be guaranteed every week. It's just to help you refresh yourself and build your own confidence in trading. Don't be that trader that relies on people. I know you aren't, but it's just sometimes I have to, because I fell into that trap myself. That's more of a job with me, if you know what I mean. It's like I relied on people to tell me where the market was going, and thus, if I didn't get that, that week turned to shambles, or a couple of weeks, because I was guessing. Do you know what I mean? Or just had no confidence in myself. So it's just me saying, have a bit of faith in yourself, all right? If the simple thing's telling you, this is where it's going, you're probably right. It's us that makes it complicated. No, we overthink things. We add bits here and there and make it way more complicated than it needs to be. All right, so let's go for bulls this week. Let's go for buys. We've taken out loads of sell side liquidity, but on these time frames, it's telling us maybe we want to take out a little buy side liquidity now. All right. If it changes that story midweek or something else pops up or starts breaking the lows and starts using the daily, let's say the daily imbalance that's been using to push forward, starts breaking through that, then don't be afraid to change your sense of direction. Don't force the market into doing what you want it to do. Do what it's telling you to do. Just because it switches direction midweek doesn't mean you're a bad trader. It's just like, all right, story's changed. Let's start looking the other way. Does that make sense? So I'll leave it at that, guys. And I will get this video loaded up. God bless and safe trading. Cheers.